Hi guys. I know it's been a lot of minutes since I have been live, and I want to apologize for that. It has been crazy at my house since my mother passed. She had come home with me on hospice. Some of you may not know, last year, right before COVID hit. Well, no, that's not true. She was in the hospital when COVID hit because she couldn't understand why I couldn't come visit her. But anyway, she came home with me on hospice the 1st of April because I thought it was an April Fool's Day joke. She called me and said, I'm coming home. I was like, oh, okay. Because she was really out of it because she had liver cancer. And for those of you that don't know, the liver gets rid of all the impurities. Well, when the liver is not functioning properly, your mental uh, capacity is diminished. Anyway, she came home with me and she passed on May 15th. And then I thought I was just having like depression, from her passing and just being really exhausted because she had passed. And I had been her only caregiver basically 24/7. There was one hospice worker that would come in every day for an hour. She was awesome. I was surprised she would come in because of COVID, but she continued to because she really liked my mom. And so, anyway, I thought I was just exhausted. And I finally went to the doctor and found out my sugar was so high that it was spilling over into my kidneys. And so I was diagnosed with diabetes and been trying to get that on track. Then, the beginning of this year, as some of you may have seen from a few of the quick live clips that I did, we had decided many years ago to enclose our garage. And we started that in March, I think. They finished in July. It was, I guess you could say, a nightmare. And that's being nice. I know with COVID and stuff, everybody's behind, stuff's out of stock, all that kind of stuff. But that wasn't necessarily what was going on with us. And in the middle of that, my idiot self, I decided that I was going to do have some work done outside to get it all done at once, so I could start doing what I needed to do with the laser that we got and stuff like that. And the guy that was doing our outside work, he tore up all. We had a driveway that we were having torn up because it led right into our living room. I think our living room used to be a garage, and they enclosed it and or not enclosed it, but turned it into the living room. Anyway, we were having all that concrete torn up, and he had to return the equipment, which we had rented. And when he returned it, it was damaged, like to the tune of almost $800 damaged. Well, since it was in our name. And that's one of the things I was going to tell y'all. I do remember telling you that I would let you know what things to not do with contractors, and I have not forgotten that. That's one of the things. Don't rent equipment for contractors. Hang on, I got a visitor. This is my daughter's terror. Her name is Lady. We got her last year. Right, we had already scheduled to get her before my mom went in the hospital, so we ran to Texarkana and got her one Saturday. I believe my aunt stayed with my mom in the hospital, and she is a terror. Terror. She is. Oh, hey, Summer. Um. Anyway, where was I? I was. Okay, lady. Oh, we finally got the garage enclosed. The we got a new guy to redo the concrete, and he did awesome. I would hire him for everything that we have done in the future. But I have not forgotten you guys as far as making that list, and I will do that. I will get to that. Now, what I want to talk to you about today is my life right now is crazy. It's just crazy, and nobody wants to go live at 5 o'clock in the morning when I can. So, what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start doing some videos of the laser items that we now cut out. And I'm going to pre-record them and I'm going to post them as a premiere, which is kind of like a live on Facebook, but you're not really live. But I will be there to answer questions as much as I can. And so the first thing we're going to get started with is, let me show you. So we are going to get back to painting, or get to painting. Now, as you can see, I have already painted the back of this. I always paint the backs of mine black. Sometimes gray. It just depends on what it is. But I'm going to start with this one, and I think I'm going to paint him Tom Pete red, the background. Let me get this paint open. I thought I already had it, but I guess I didn't. And my fingernails are not working. Oh, and by the way, these premieres that I'm going to do, I am not going to edit them. You get what you get. Sorry. I am honestly doing good to record these, much less edit. Let me switch that because I can see in the camera that you can't really see the circle as well. So we're going to start with this. I'm going to use this Tom Pete red. It's not a bright red. You can see it's kind of a dark, to me, it's kind of a retro red. I really like the color, and I actually use it quite a bit for stuff. I'm going to use I think it's a 1-inch. Let's see what it says. 1 inch, no, 3/4 inch angle brush. I usually use these angle brushes, and I'll tell you why. I do use flat brushes, but these angle brushes, they tend to, you can get a straighter line with an angle brush than you can. So I tend to only buy the angle brushes. And when I'm painting yard art and stuff, what I can tell you is I go through a lot of brushes, first of all. They wear down quicker when you're painting yard art. But you just want to put a coat of red. We're going to let that dry. And then the fun part. Actually, I probably shouldn't have done this red. I told y'all I wasn't going to edit, but I think I'm going to change my mind on this. Or even hardly get started. I'm going to go with yellow. And I'll tell you why. I want it to be lighter. I want this background to be lighter. And I'll show you why in a minute. So, we'll grab another brush. I don't have another angle up there. Let me get this one cleaned out. Just a little bit. Let me get my paper towels. I've got to get more organized now that I'm out in this new space. I'm not nearly as, not that I was ever organized in the other space, but you know how, you know where your stuff is. You got, it's not organized, but you know where it's at, and you You reach for it and you know it's there. This is Delta Ceramcoat's opaque yellow. It is probably going to take 2 coats to go over the red, just because that Tom Pete red's pretty dark. We'll see. But this opaque yellow, I really like it. I can't find it anywhere locally. So I go on Plaid's website and I order 5 to 10 bottles at a time because I use it a lot in my yard art. Charlie Brown. This is a good Charlie Brown shirt color. So it gets used quite a bit. And like I said, it's going to take 2 coats here. This isn't totally dry. It's part of the problem. It's smearing it. But I want this yellow, I decided. Not red. And it probably would have been easier if I'd have just gotten up and grabbed another round circle, but that would have been the smart thing to do. And here lately, I've not been doing wise things. It's just not been it's not been in my thought process. I tell you, to do this video even, I have been working on this since yesterday at 8 o'clock in the morning, trying to get this set up. I told my husband, I said, they need video producing for dummies because I just cannot get this right. I don't even mind. Yeah. I don't really mind it looking like that, but I want it to show up better. So I'm gonna let that dry a minute, and I'm gonna scoot over here and get my glue that I have. And while that's drying, I'm gonna scoot him over just a little bit, or I should have used some white paper there, but I didn't. Our gnome has several layers. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put a little glue on his hat here. And I'll take these off because I can't see up close. Oh, I've got the... Never mind, I want to do it this way. I don't know what I'm thinking. I got one of these glues. It's Gorilla Glue, which I love that stuff. You have to be careful. It is like super glue, but it's got... you can get it at Lowe's, Home Depot, probably, and even Walmart probably. I just happened to be in Lowe's when I got this. But it's got like this little paintbrush on one end. So you can get really tiny areas, which I really like. But I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it on top. You have to be rather quick because it is like super glue for the most part. And I'm going to glue this on there. And then I'm going, actually, not a lot of this gnome base actually shows because I do it in layers like this so it lays flat on the board, because what I found not doing it layered is that I would have trouble getting it to be still, even glued down. I say be still, it wouldn't glue flat. So I'm going to paint his little pants, that's what those are, red before I do this. And then under here, see, not much of him shows, but under here is his, or on top of here is his beard. And I'm going to do the same thing I did with the hat. You do have to work not super quick, but like I said, this is kind of like super glue. So you want to work kind of quick. I don't know how much you really need to put on there, but I just coat the whole thing so he's going to stick. I want him to stick. So, put that back on for right now. pick up his beard, and it's going to go kind of right there. It's not a perfect match, and that was actually intentional, believe it or not. Um, because of the way I wanted his nose to actually sit on top of this, and we're going to paint that here in a little bit. I don't know if you can see that in the camera. So while we're waiting on this to still dry, which is not dry, I'm going to put the lid back on here, and I'm going to come back with this Top Heat Red, and I've got 5 let's see, how many does he have? Let's look at him again because I'm not 100% sure. I think he's got more than 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those leaves, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 of the other. Okay. So there's 5, 6. That's why I had 6 out. And then the other leaves, he's got 4 of. I am going to paint them just kind of different colors. I'm going to use the red, the orange. I'm going to use a green. Here is the green. It is called, hang on, I'm just going to put just a little bit out. Maybe that lets me. Well, let's get this back to where it was. That's how I want it. Okay, I'm going to, and I'm going to stop this scrolling stuff. Let's stop this. See if I can stop this. Maybe. Huh. Maybe not. Am I not? There we go. Okay. Y'all know I like it when y'all bless my video. But anyway, I'm going to paint some of these red, green, the Tom Pete red. This green is Seminole green. And then I'm going to try to use orange soda. It's kind of bright, so I may switch it to a darker color. We'll see how it kind of looks. I don't know if you can see those, but that orange soda is a little bright. We'll see what we get. We're about dry there. Okay, so I'm going to take my smaller angle brush that I already had some red on, and I'm going to paint. Let's see, I've got 6 of these, so I can do a couple of each to make it even, but I'm going to do this one red. Y'all know me, I don't care if I get a little dirty. I'm going to do this one red. Let's see. And then these items actually, you know, if you're a crafter that sells at craft shows, this stuff to me actually paints up quicker than a lot of stuff because you don't, it's like painting puzzle pieces, you know, it's already there and figured out for you once you see what colors to use, or, you know, use your own imagination and decide your own colors. But I figured if I gave you little tips on what colors to use, you could even take this and, like on the screen, I'm going to use the corner of this yellow, just a little. You can take the yellow and see I've put just a little bit on the brush, and you can give it a little highlight to give it a change if you want to, if you don't want it just straight green. You could do the opposite with one. I'm going to use some more yellow. Again, as far as the ceramic coat yellow goes, the only color I really like is the opaque yellow. I like the other colors of the yellow, but they don't cover well. So you end up not, you end up doing like 6 coats. And that's really probably with any yellow. It's not just ceramic coat, but so I'm going to do this one yellow, and then I'm going to take a little of the green, and in this case, I'm just going to kind of go, can't see me right there, can you? I'm going to kind of go around the edges. I'm not being particular. I'm just kind of going around the edges, and then I'm going to swipe it, just swipe it all, and that'll give you kind of, it's kind of a yellowish green. I think it's going to look good once we get it all on there. Sorry, I keep clearing my throat. My nose is running. My eyes are watering. No, I don't have COVID. I have allergies. But I tell you what, you go into the store, which I don't go into many stores. There's one little Walmart I run into if I have to. But if you go in there and you start this drainage stuff, your sinuses start draining, you start coughing and hacking, and everybody looks at you like you do have it. And the pollen's up real high right now here in Arkansas. So my allergies are just for about the past week, they've just been playing fits on me. I mean, just absolute. Now with this one, I'm gonna take this Tom Pete Red, and I've loaded the tip of my brush, just the top. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just pat it, and that's gonna kind of give you your veins in this one, and just do it, you know, how you want to, and you'll come out with that. I'm gonna go ahead and do this one since I did the other one. It's not gonna look exactly the same because, well, I'm not being uh, particular. I'm just kind of patting, and you just gently push it down to get different veins on there. See? Now I can do the same thing. I could do the same thing with the green one. Well, any of them really. The red one I would probably need to use a darker brown on. And I believe this guy's about dry, so we're going to push these to the side for a minute. We'll get some more of this yellow out. And we're going to paint this again and then get to moving. Where's my big paintbrush? Right there. Okay. I actually kind of like that, but not for this. But I like the way. Now what I want to do on this is get a good coat. And you'll be able to kind of see how this opaque yellow actually does pretty good, because normally this yellow, a yellow that's not there opaque, you would definitely still be able to see this. Now you probably will in spots. I'm still going to probably have to do yet another coat. But it's not going to be, plus this is still a little damp. I didn't mean to hold that sideways. I hold it how I paint. I'm sorry, folks. It's just how I do. But we've got this. And I'm going to do this. The edge is really good. See, that's pretty good coverage for a yellow over a red, especially. Um, and it is called just opaque yellow. It's just a bright yellow, but it works. Okay, so let's see, lay this down for a minute. And get this last little bit on here. Then we're going to let this dry. Y'all can bear with me just a minute. I need to grab one of my pens. Sorry. I love these pens. You guys have used these. You'll know. These are actually watercolor pens. I say watercolor. That's not true. They're acrylic paint in the form of a pen. So you can seal them like you do normal acrylic paint, which makes it nice. What color shall I paint his little arms? Let's see here. I am thinking, I'm really thinking of blue. But while I'm doing that, I'm going to use, where did my smaller one go? I'm going to, I don't know if you can see this, but it's kind of, I have engraved it. So there's kind of like square patches with nothing in them, then patches with lines in them. And it's pretty cool the way it works out. I'm going to actually, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this. I am going to paint this green. See, this is all new to me too. I haven't even tested these. But I'm going to paint this guy green in the, I'm going to get the green down in the cracks. I don't know if you can see that or not. Very good. Oh, I got a needle in his beard, but that's okay. It will go up. Okay. I want the green down in the cracks because that's going to be my darker color, if that makes sense. So we've got the green down in the cracks, and then we're going to let that dry, and then I'm going to come back with a lighter color and kind of highlight the tops, the top of the wood, if that makes sense. I hope it does. If not, just hang tight and you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm going to go ahead on this, and I'm going to paint the sides, at least down to the where the hat ends. I'm going to paint that green on both sides here. This green paint's kind of thick, like it's getting old, but I just bought it. Paint has been another thing that COVID has affected. If you try to get paint in the stores, it's virtually impossible. That's why I've gone to their website, started going to their web. I went to their website before then, but now it's just been impossible to get the colors. But I don't really want to go in the store. I have gotten, since my mom's been home with me, or was home with me, I have gotten in the habit of online shopping. And I gotta say, I don't dislike it. I do like it. I don't have a problem with it. I was going to show you this little pen too. Well, let me make sure it's writing. I need a piece of paper. Oh, this will work. Okay, you just want to make sure, you gotta, that it's working. You gotta make sure it's working. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do these veins with this real quick. Nothing spectacular. I'm just, what I do is follow the leaves, the points. If there's a point, that's where a vein goes, unless it gets too small like that. But that's how I determine where the veins go, is usually if there's a point. And I can tell you, I just really like these pens a lot. They have really made my life a lot easier. Um, that guy's pretty veiny, but he'll work. And then this one, I'm going to do a little bit different. I'm going to make this one just a little bit squiggly. See how you can do them, you can do them how you want to, what makes you comfortable, what you like. Next, I need to find a light blue and a flesh tone, and I did not grab those. If y'all will hang tight just a minute, that blue is not going to work. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and get very light blue, and I'm going to get a. I'm going to use this natural beige as a flesh color. Of course, you can paint it whatever color you want. I do think before this black dries, though, I'm going to paint these little boots. I want his little boots to be black. So, I'm going to, or should I do a light brown? You know what? I am. I'm going to do them this raw sienna. I keep changing my mind on stuff. Like I said, I have not, this is all new to me. I've cut it out, I've designed it, but I haven't painted anything yet, so. Oh, and I'm not on screen. And that's the one bad thing. I don't have anybody tell me, hey, I can't see you. I need to switch that maybe to where it was cutting off that corner because I'm on there. So that's what I'll do. I'm going to switch it to. I'm going to switch it to where it's just this. And then maybe you can see better because that's what we're actually here to see. Let's see. Oh, the blue. I'm going to paint his. That's too light, I think. I'm going to get a little bit darker. Hang on. I want more of a blue gem. Well, there we go. I grabbed denim blue. So I'm going to paint his little arms denim blue. And maybe I'm going to have to open this one, I think. And I'll just paint straight out of the lid on this because it's not cooperating. Okay, so you got one right arm and one left arm, of course. So you want to make sure you paint opposite. This is denim blue, Delta Ceram coat. I'm going to paint the edges because that's what I like. I'm not going to paint that edge because that's going to glue up against his body. You do not have to paint the edges. It's totally up to you. I will tell you, though, that laser pieces, when you get them, they do have a charred smell. It's just the nature of it because the laser is actually burning the wood. So it's virtually impossible to get rid of that charred smell. Paint will, or you can use dentured alcohol or baby wipes. Is it baby wipes or Clorox wipes? Oh, heck, don't quote me on that. I'll look it up. And I will never remember all this, so hopefully when I'm watching it with you. Nothing like me making a mess. Oh, I think this is going to do it, which I wouldn't have had to do this many coats at all had I not decided to change the color. But that's how we roll around here. And what this doesn't accomplish, I will go back and touch up. Because I don't want to hold you guys up any longer. I don't know even how long I've been here, but I'm trying to get through this for you pretty quick. And I've been told that premieres aren't doing very good. They're down at the bottom of the list. I don't know. That's the only way I knew to do it, that this was going to work for my schedule. So for now, because I can normally, at the times I want to go live, I can be on Facebook. I just can't necessarily be live, if that makes sense. I can check comments and stuff like that, but it is hard for me to be live because I really want to do about 8 o'clock. And that's just with 2 teenagers and my husband and kids and dogs. And, well, I already said 2 teenagers, but it's just not feasible. So I'm going to do what I can when I can. And one thing you can do is if there's something you see that I haven't shown you yet and you want to see it painted, just holler at me. I will. Sorry, I had to get a drink. Okay. We're going to go back to our little guy here. I'm going to start out with his beard color being gray, which I also did get. Gray that I like. This is rain gray. It's kind of a darker gray. It is what I'm going to use as the base color. And then we'll move on and get a little bit lighter. Okay, so we're going to go like this. Oh, my husband saying, "Good girl" to one of the puppies. Which must mean they did something really good because he likes animals, just not a ton. He's one of those that acts like he doesn't like them. Okay, so about got that covered. And then I'm going to come on the side here. Now you can see this doesn't match up perfectly. I didn't get it perfect. Honestly, that's okay. We're not perfect. And I'm going to go ahead and paint the back of the beard, not the back of this. You don't want to paint the back of that if you can help it. If you get a little paint on it, it's okay. You just don't want to full on paint it because we're going to glue it to the sign. And it will, since the sign is already yellow, I don't want both to be painted because it won't adhere as well, if that makes sense. And I don't really have to, oh, I painted his pants leg. Oh well, I'm gonna fix that. I really don't want to have to paint the back. It's not necessary. It's just me. And I say the back. I'm not painting the back. I'm painting the sides. If that makes sense. But it's not necessary. It's just I've always been taught to do that. And so I do. Okay, so we've got our green up here. And we're going to go back. Hang on. I know the glare on that side is really bad. I got one of those light kit thingies, Amazon Prime Day. I'll keep hearing me jiggle stuff. This is what I'm jiggling. These things are the bomb. There's no sugar, less than 1 carb, I think. Yeah, less than 1 gram of carb, no sugar. And I live off these things when my sinuses are acting up because I'm constantly choking. All right, I'm going to use this ivory, and it is going to be our highlight color on this green. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a paper towel. If you have an old phone book, that actually works better for this technique, but I don't have any out here. So I'm going to take a paper towel and I'm going to kind of swipe it and get most of the paint off. Kind of like dry brushing. And then I'm just going to kind of go over the green very lightly. I'm not pushing hard. Can you see that? And it gives it kind of depth is all I'm doing. I'll push it up to the camera when I'm done here. See, it just kind of gives it a little depth. And now his beard is already dry. I want a much lighter gray than that. This is drizzle gray. It's a good color. I'm just going to open this since I'm doing this so quick with these. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to tap it off just a little bit because I don't want it to be blobby. And I'm going to take this angle brush. I think this is a 1/2 inch, no, 3/8 inch. Okay. And I'm going to kind of follow the line of the beard. So I'm going to go like this and swipe it out. Swipe it out. Swipe it. Just let it fall how it wants to fall, if that makes sense. I love angle brushes. They are the bomb. And just kind of follow the. It's just to give him a little highlight. See? That sure looks brighter than it should. Hang on. Well, no, I guess not. I guess it's just maybe the way the light is. Oh, there. That's good. Okay. So we got him ready to go. Now, one thing about gnomes, they don't have. Oh, I got great on that. They don't have all the eyeballs and stuff. You don't have to fret about all that. Now I'm going to use this natural beige. There's not much in this one, but it's going to be enough for what we want. And again, you want to do opposites. So make sure you got one going one way and one going the other. We're going to do his little nose and his hands. And first thing, I'm going to do his nose. Can you see? It would help if I would do it in the camera, but I'm just not a camera queen, that's for sure. Okay, so nose, and then his hands, his teeny little hands. And like I said, if you want to paint the sides, you can. I generally do. It's just me though. I'm not painting that tip too much because it is going to glue. And don't paint the backs of the hands because they're going to glue on. So you don't You don't want to paint much of this end or the backs if you can help it. Now, if you get some on there, it's not going to hurt anything, but you just want to paint the front and the sides. You can even just paint the front. It's easier to do it that way. And there's nothing wrong with it. Again, that was natural beige. You can use a flesh tone that works for you. There are 5,000 million flesh tones out there. And I'll go back over this little shoe. Sometimes, honestly, when I'm painting these tiny pieces, I'll even use a pair of tweezers. Okay, so there's arms. Let's see. Let's get these 4 leaves painted, and then we're about to call it. We're about to get it. Let's see. I'll do this one yellow. But anything yellow, I'm going to come back with the green. Because remember, our background's yellow. So, I need a little more green out. This is Seminole green again. Same color I used on the other leaves. It's going to come out. There we go. Ooh. I got that everywhere. I'm going to clean that up. I'm going to do one green. Again, paint the sides if you want to. Let's see. We'll do one red. That's why I always look like I've been painting in the trenches, is because I've always got paint all over me. I've been places before and had friends go, "Is that paint your hair?" Yep, probably is. It is what it is. When you're a crafter, you understand. Okay, so, I'm sorry. I wasn't getting on camera. This orange is a really bright one. But this would look really cute in the middle of a grapevine wreath. Or, if you wanted holes drilled in it, you can message me and I could drill holes in it. Or not drill, laser cut holes. And I just really mess with this too much. So we're going to go ahead. Whoa. Orange guy. Come on. We're going to kind of place him. And we're going to see where we want stuff here. Oh, wait. We got to paint our... We got to paint our stuff here. Forgot about this. What color? What color? Dark brown. Let's do a dark brown. Either dark brown or dark red. That red would really stand out. Okay, we're gonna go with red. What the heck? Now, I will say that generally speaking, on the letters like this, can you see? thin letters. I don't paint all the sides because it's a pain in the booty. Plus, can you see how they're flexing? You have to be kind of careful with these. If they break, all you have to do is glue them back. But most of the lettering I have tried to make to where it's thicker, not quite as flexible, but on this 10-inch size, it's smaller, so it's not quite as thick where they meet, and that's where you find the flexibility is where, say, the H meets the E, or see like the L meeting the O when I'm, see how it's wiggling that way? That's just, there's nothing that can be done about that. So you just kind of have to be careful with those. Um, and do what you can. Now, on the hello, the words are all together. Of course, on the fall, the F I couldn't put together, but you could do these in black. You know, the colors, just whatever color you want. And that's another thing. I've got to show you guys this new product that my husband and Jana's husband invented. It is I'll say invented, that they discovered. It is an additive that you can put in any paint, acrylic paint, and it makes it into like a chalk paste. It's more of fluffy. It's like I don't know, but they've got their own little website started, and they're going to do, I think, the third, don't quote me, around the 1st September. We'll just go with that. They're going to do it to where they do their product launch. I was trying to think of what I want to say. All right, now I'm not going to worry about these little splotches right now. I will come back and address those and fix those, however. And I'm just making all kinds of mess with this yellow. Well, I'm not going to leave that. I can't, just cannot do it. So I'm going to get a totally brand new, clean, flat brush because I've run through most of my angle brushes I brought out here. And I am going to go around the edges here. Well, hello, Miss Sparkle Dog. Go around the edges here really quick. Now I'm trying to keep my dirty fingers off of it. That's the only thing out here when we built this. We did not put a sink, but you know, can't be picky like that. I am very blessed and very happy with what I do have. Now, does your version have to be as bright as this? No, you could do muted colors for fall, whatever you want to do. It really is. But I tell you, when the pieces are already cut out like this, it sure makes it easier, in my opinion, to paint them. Um, because there's not a ton of guesswork with it. You just have to decide what colors you want to go with and let that be it. I'm hoping that I can get this. I would have been able to get this completed in under an hour for sure if I hadn't had to repaint this guy 3 or 4 times. But this is my own fault. I should have gotten up at the beginning and just grabbed another round circle, but I didn't. So, and I still got. Wait. Okay, that's going to have to wait a minute. But while that's waiting, I'm gonna take this Gorilla. It is called super glue. I didn't know it was called super glue. Um, and I'm gonna first make sure my hands are dry. I'm going to paint glue on my little nose. Oh, and one thing, I kept saying if you painted the sides of stuff, it would make the smell go away, the charred smell. Also, if once you seal this, the charred smell will go away. So it's not like you have to. And see, there's his little nose. Now I'm gonna go back and touch his little foot up. His little pants leg over here that I messed up a while ago with the. Not much of his pants show, but just there's enough that that's how I end up with paint all over me, my gloves, and everything else. Constantly dropping stuff and okay. Now I'm gonna get my heat gun out here, or my hair dryer, and the next time I'll be more prepared for my screw ups. So we're gonna go hello. We're gonna put him kind of down here because we want him to be kind of towards the bottom, but I want him to be a little more straight on than that. Like, okay. See, some of these need to go above his head, so we're going to scoot hello up just a hair. Then we're going to scoot file up and over just a little bit because I want him throwing these leaves. So we're going to do one arm here. And what I'm going to do is before I put the arm on, I'm actually going to go ahead and glue him down. So again, I'm going to just quickly paint him. The one thing about him is once you place him, you better know where you want him if you're using this glue. Because there's really not um, a ton of time. So, get him how you want him. I want him right there. And then his little boots. Oh. And don't get glue all over you like that. His little boots. I don't seem to get as much glue on me when I use. I'm going to slip this one boot under. Oh, you can't see it. Under his beard there. And then his other boot will go right there. What I was going to say is you don't get as much, I don't get as much glue on me when I use this brush. That's, it might just be that I've been lucky. I don't know. But normally if I'm using super glue, I'm glued to something by the time it's over. I mean, it's just unfortunately how it is for me. Now, his little arm, I'm just going to kind of place it where I want it to go. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is not a competition. I do kind of want them to be kind of even, but like I said, they don't have to be perfect. Same thing with his little hands. Now, I wanted mine. You can put them here if you want them there. No, I think I do want one there. Never mind. Never mind. And I'm scraping off stuff like crazy, but that's okay. I'm going to put a little right there, and then this one right here. I want it touching right there. Now here's where I might turn that like that. I think that's cute. Okay. I am going to lay these out before I do them because um, I kind of want to know where I'm putting these. It doesn't have to be in a perfect. I don't want to. I'm actually going to move these away just a little bit because that. And then I'm going to even have some down here around his feet. And I forgot this green needs to go back over this yellow. I'm just going to do, sorry, I had some water on there. I'm just going to kind of do, I just don't want it to be a yellow because, or a green. I want it to be, that'll be good. Kind of in between, mottled, I guess you'd say. And that will put it on the same side as that one. So, actually, I think I'll put this one down. No, I don't want that one. Decisions. So now, swap these. And now I gotta get the glue in. So we're gonna do it kind of like that. I am leaving this open space for a reason, and I'll show you what I'm gonna do. You don't have to do it. It's not. That's one thing I like. Everybody can do this and interpret it their own. You know, you can do it your own way. It's not. Oh, she did it this way, so that's how we have to do it now. I'm just gluing everything on. Did I get that already? Yep. He's on there. That big boy's on there. Now these letters can get tricky. You don't want to put too much when they're thin like this because it will run over the sides. So I'm just barely brushing it on there. Okay. Yeah, I about had a heart attack. My dog rubbed my leg, and I didn't realize she was still out here. She's laying beside me. She needs a bath bad. Yes, I did stick myself to that. I told you, I'm not super good with super glue. Okay. Trying to get the last of the stuff glued on, and then I'm gonna put the. I'll touch up the yellow in spots. Actually, I'll probably put the final touches on, then touch up the yellow, and I'll post a picture when. I'm done once it's sealed and I get a picture and hello fall. I don't want that in an angle. But yeah, there we go. Okay. Have I glued? Yep. I've not glued that one up. I can't even remember what I've glued and what I haven't. Now that we've got most of this glued on, we're going to come back with that pen that I used earlier. If this is totally dry, you want to make sure your stuff is dry. And we are going to draw what I call squiggles. It does not have to be perfect. Mine won't be. I just go back and touch them up till I like them enough to keep them. Squiggle, squiggle, squiggle. That's it. Now, this kind of pen is a Posca pen. You can get, I think, other kinds of these pens that aren't quite as expensive. These were a Christmas gift, or else I probably would not own as many of them as I do. But that's all I asked for Christmas last year. And you can get a cheaper version of these. If you're just going to do one or two pieces, that's what I recommend. But what you want to look for is you want to look for a pen that says acrylic paint pen. Because, sorry, I'm trying to get this one reloaded. If it's not an acrylic paint pen and you go to seal it, a lot of times it will run. And these acrylic paint pens don't do that. They do not, however, like to paint on wet paint, and this paint is still a little damp. I'm kind of trying to rush this so you guys can see what I had in mind. I want it to just kind of look like he's throwing these up in the air. And then we'll come back with some air squiggles. That's what I call it, air squiggles. I'm going to go around his little cuff with the black. That is just how I like to do it. I don't know if you can see that, but I will hold it up for you in just a minute. I would probably even go around his hand. One good thing about this is if you mess up with this pen, you just go back with your original color, paint it, and voila, let it dry, and then your pen can come back. It's easy peasy. I'm just adding these extras just for the fun of it, because to me it makes it look like the winds are blowing. I'm going to add a vein in this one. See, you can use this to add your veins. Now, the only thing about these smaller ones, as far as I can tell, they really only come in um, black and white, the smallest ones. There are larger ones that come in a bunch of different sizes, and I've got those as well. God love my husband. He didn't know which size to get me, so he just got them all, and that's all I got for Christmas. So, which is fine. I'm happy with that. I'm gonna do a little highlighting on his boot. So you just give it, and I'm probably gonna do some highlighting on his beard. And I say highlighting, it's not really highlighting, just um, adding some. It helps add depth, in my opinion. To do a little, it's almost just outline, but not really. I'm not on the total. I'm not on the edge. But I'm gonna hold this up closer so you can. Oops, let me get it to where you can kind of see what I'm looking at, and then I'll just kind of look at it. And of course, I've got to do his other arm here. With this pen, though, in my opinion, I feel like you have a lot more control. Whereas if you were using a brush to do this, it can get um, hard, I guess. I've just been doing it so long that I know what I want. It doesn't necessarily mean it has to be what you want, but this is just to give you an idea of how you could do it. Say if you wanted to. Um, if you wanted to paint all your veins with the pen, you for sure could. There's um, no law against it. Now, one thing I have been taught is you should do 1, 3, 5. Now, that may just be in, I'll give that up, but I'll come back and fix it. That may just be in other things, but I've always just applied it to everything. See, like this 2 up here. It needs 3. And I really feel like this needs a double squiggle. I don't know. I'm just kind of winging it. This one I'm just going back over because he wasn't quite ready at first. Now, one good thing about this is if you feel like it's too much or not enough and you want to add more, you can always go back in and add more, or you can go back in and take away. Like if you don't like how wide that line is right there, you can go back in and get rid of that or clean that up. Like I don't like that right there. And there's something on this brush, of course. Looks like a darker brown. But you get my point. And so from now on, for the next little bit anyway, I'm going to be kind of doing my quote unquote lives like this where I pre-record them, upload them to Facebook, and do them as a premiere. This is temporary. It's not permanent. It's a temporary solution to a problem. Pardon me, and I say a problem. It's not really a problem. It's just how um, my life is right now. So I've got to make accommodations. Now I'm getting a teeny tiny angle brush now. I got to do what works for me, and for right now, uh, this works. And so I hope it works for y'all. And what I was going to say is I will probably pre-record a few of these, but if there is something on my Facebook shop, mine and Jana's Facebook shop, that you want to see painted, holler at me and I'll do it. And I'll let you know when it will be, so you will know, if that makes sense. Now, hang on just a minute and I'm going to show you what I think I would do with this. My doors are blue. It's not really blue. It's more of a green, but let me grab something real quick and I'll be right back. Hey, little one, you got to move your tootie, move your booty. Move your booty. A little further. Thank you, baby. Okay. Let's see. Now, I think this would look cute on a grapevine, but I know a lot of people use these and then add a ton of ribbon so you can't tell it's one of these. But you know, you put this guy in the middle of a wreath, he's pretty good. He's pretty okay. It'd be good. So, I appreciate y'all stopping in. I've gone a little bit over an hour. Let's see. 17 minutes over. So, hopefully my next one won't be quite as long as this. I'll get better at it. But I thank you guys for stopping. And you can pick up your little gnome cutout at Revitalize Chic. You can paint him how you want. You can paint him like this, whatever you want to do. Just holler if you have any questions. Y'all have a great night.